Hello and welcome to FireDev, a fireside chat with developers. I have my cousin Cameron Hussein here with us. He's just finished university just a few months ago, and started a job as well at BMW. So that's my little introduction of him, but I'll let him do a much better introduction than that.
Hello, yeah, so my name's Cameron. I graduated in mechanical engineering. Just started a job at BMW as assembly process planning engineer, and that was just been about a week or two now. And yeah, just settling into my job.
Okay, so that was Cameron's introduction. Good stuff, nice and simple. Okay, so at university you studied mechanical engineering,
Yep.
but obviously the reason you're on the podcast is because you've done programming as well. So how long have you been doing programming for?
Well, since I started when I was about 13, 14. Obviously with you, I did some little projects, made some simple calculators using C, C++, and then I kind of went off it a little bit until college, and then I did computer science. So that's where I mainly did Python and a bit of JavaScript. And then from there, I went to university. Didn't go down the computer science route. I went down the mechanical engineering and did some programming in during my course. So first, I did some MATLAB, which is very basic. It's not really properly coding compared to the other advanced ones. But I did that in first and second year, and then in second year, I did Arduino, which is C++ based, and that was quite enjoyable because you can actually see a physical product after you're doing some coding. So yeah, I did that, and then finally I didn't do that much, but just a bit. And
Okay.
yeah, since then that's it really.
Yeah, I remember doing Arduino myself when
Yeah,
I was at university in first year of uni. I mean, at the time I was like, oh, it's a bit of a pain, but I remember looking back now, I thought one, it's pretty easy relative to the other stuff. Plus, also it was pretty enjoyable as well because like I said, to get it on a physical thing. Because obviously I was doing games as well,
yeah,
so was seeing stuff running around or some sort of you know character or something on the screen anyway. So we was getting some sort of feedback and getting something working, but to have it on a device, what we had to create was like what's it called, a response game. So the we had the Arduino board and a board on top that had some buttons like a mic on there,
yeah.
and the mic would make a sound, and when it made the sound, you had to press the button on the one of the buttons, and then that
Yeah.
would measure your response time, and
A
that would
reaction, like a
be
reaction time kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a reaction time. I think he did it 3 times, and then it was average. Yeah, so yeah, that was that. So what do you wish you knew when you started that you know now?
Started programming in general.
Yeah,
Yeah, just like going through it, commenting properly. Before I didn't really comment, and then when I
yeah,
go back to code that I haven't touched in 2 3 weeks, I really have a clue what's going on. So you do get a bit of an idea, but then like if you
yeah,
left it as an error and then you come back to it, you've got to start back 50% before where you was just
yeah,
to
yeah.
figure out what's going on. So it's
Oh,
just
yeah, of
yeah, just
course.
making it commenting and making code efficient as well, instead of just making loads of lines and stuff unnecessarily, which of course is
Yeah.
makes it hard to troubleshoot as well when you get bugs and stuff like that.
Okay. And another side, now I remember you mentioned because you've been doing it since about 13 or so. Obviously, you was doing that like stuff at school as well. Because like obviously for you at high school, they was doing like some sort of computer science,
Yeah,
courses
yeah,
or
yeah.
classes.
I think
Uh,
it was like a after school club. It wasn't part of the course, but I did like an after school in JavaScript. So
Also, it
that's
wasn't
where
part of the course at
no,
that time because I
no,
know it is now. Like for your little sister, I know
yeah,
she does it.
yeah,
Or did it because she's in college now, but
yeah,
she,
yeah,
she she did it, and I know other people that are younger that do it now. Okay, so yeah, so basically they was edging into it. It was coming, but it hadn't quite come yet.
yeah. It was just mainly ICT, but
Yeah.
not
Oh
computer
yeah.
science.
What,
Yeah.
PowerPoint and Excel and Word?
Yeah, webs. I'm making some simple websites as well, but that wasn't
Was he
really
using
coding.
Dreamweaver for the websites?
I think so. I think it's using blocks. Is that using blocks?
Yeah, yeah, you know, you
Yeah,
can just drag like a header on,
yeah,
drag like a
yeah,
paragraph
yeah,
block on. I mean, there's
yeah.
different ones, but Dreamweaver was the Adobe. Do you remember Adobe something? The Adobe
Mm,
software.
no, it's been ages. Honestly, I don't.
Okay. I know Dreamweaver is one of the big ones, and that's what we used at the time. Because I remember at the time, you know, we made a website. Mm, I want to say we didn't touch any HTML in high school when we was doing that. If we did, it was so minimal that I don't remember it. And I, looking back, like that's still I don't consider that as my earliest memory of coding. I consider it later when I was actually doing coding at college, doing a computer science course. So yeah, that's how non-coding, you know, Dreamweaver is, or
Yeah,
a tool like that.
but
Okay.
obviously, before college, you had a hobby as well, didn't you, of coding? So you did quite a bit as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the same time, as well, 'cause obviously I was really into computers, you know, as I know you are as well. But
Yeah,
in general, like you know how they worked, and you know just tinkering, you know, around with it. So yeah, that definitely helped a lot. Because I remember whilst I was studying at college, I was making my own stuff, apps, or you know just stuff on the computer using Visual Basic that I was learning at the time. So I mean, that must have accelerated, you know, the learning. Obviously, at the time, I don't think we did, but you know, the reality is it's all experience. So yeah,
what was
so
your first app again? Was it that U.S. Army ranks or was it something else?
first ever.
Like proper app that was published?
Oh no, I don't want to. I want to say it wasn't that. I think it was. I mean, was it the US Army ranks? Nah, I feel like that came after I'd already published. I feel like it might have been a game in a game making tool called Game Salad where
Yeah, I
you could
remember
just
that.
drag and
Yeah,
drop stuff on. I
yeah.
can't remember what the game was called. It was like it had a bunch of mini games, including Pachinko in there. And I think that may have been my first app that are released. Obviously, you had the flashlight app, LED strobe flashlight, which
Oh, it might have
obviously,
been that one actually. Yeah,
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 I mean that was one of the first, successful ones that was
yeah.
making money. But yeah, there's been so many.
And
I'm
when
working
was
on some games right now actually that I
yeah?
want to, finish and release as well. Because I do really miss doing that sort of stuff, the game stuff and that. So yeah, I'm working on some games, so I'll be releasing that.
Are they still on there? Your old one, OG one.
No, the issue is because of API changes and stuff like
New devices.
GDPR
Yeah,
and just updates to the platform. It gets to a point where if you're not updating the apps are no longer compliant,
yeah,
and as a
yeah,
result, they get removed. And it was got to a point where they're not really making any money anymore, and I'll be working on stuff that don't really want to be working on anymore, not making any money, and so it's like, so as a result, slowly and slowly, each one just got taken off and off and off. On the bright side for Android, I mean, it says MK for Android to be fair, but for Android, you can obviously get the APKs online
yeah,
because obviously
yeah.
they're archived on websites like I think APK Pure and that. So anyone that wants to check it out, you can check the stuff out there. iOS is it's a bit more hit and miss, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've
Can,
got a I say again.
can you still like port them to your device and run them, or would they not work anymore?
No, I mean it will require a fair few modifications, a lot of
Okay,
modifications.
okay,
So yeah,
okay.
it's not as simple as opening the projects wherever they are to just get them to work. I mean, one of the games, Glowbreaker, I do want to just completely redo because I had Glowbreaker one. I mean, no, Glowbreaker. I had Glowbreaker, the first one, version two. I want to do a version three as well, like made from the ground up as well. So I would like to do that. That's again not something working on yet. Cause I've got other games that I'm working on. But yeah, that's basically the problem because of API and and as a result, data protection, which influences certain APIs, it doesn't fully work,
Yeah, yeah.
and as a result, doesn't come compliant. Okay, if it's possible, Cameron, could you speak a little louder? As loud as you comfortably can.
Is that better now?
Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah, I just have to put the mic closer.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you basically ideally want it where you're probably like 2, 3 inches away from the mic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you did mechanical engineering. Do you regret, doing that now that
No,
you've graduated and you're in the field?
no, because I think it put given me a lot of skills, and I can go into like nearly anything really with not medical related, but anything else with this degree. It's quite
Yeah,
open, and even if I wanted to go into computer science, or I could just even any role I really wanted to do, if I couldn't go into it, I could top it off with a master, another master's,
yeah,
and get
yeah,
into that field if I wanted to.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true. And because I mean, did you expect to be doing as much coding as you did
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
started or before you started?
I thought I would have done more, to be honest, but
Oh,
it
did you?
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't that much. But it's mainly electronic engineering who do quite a bit of coding,
Okay,
but mechanical is it's not as much as I thought, to be honest.
fair enough. And did you think about studying anything else instead of mechanical engineering?
I did think of computer science. That was originally when I was young.
Okay,
That was my career path. But after doing the A level and stuff, I didn't really find it that that I wanted to go down that route. I
you
found
didn't
I'm quite
feel it.
yeah. I enjoyed physics more, and I felt more towards mechanical engineering.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those ones where even if you're good at it, it's you really got to enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah,
I know sometimes I think I was literally thinking today. I was like, would I have got into something else? And then I was like, what else would I want to have gone into? Plus, also, at least with coding, you do have some flexibility.
yeah.
Like if you go down the doctoral lawyer field, I mean, you don't have much flexibility with that career. You can't really work remotely.
But also with like the computer science like A level, it wasn't much coding as I've expected. There's a lot of theory and other stuff that
What was
I
that?
want. Yeah, yeah. I would, that's why I went into computer science, just expecting to be heavily coding.
Yeah,
But to be honest, it wasn't that much. It's quite a lot of theory as well, which I
yeah,
didn't enjoy as much as the coding. So
yeah. That's one of those ones where some people wanted a bit more coding, some people actually want a bit more theory. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's always hit and miss. Okay, so what do you hate about developing coding?
Just the the bugs and like hitting a brick wall and then trying to go around it.
Yeah,
Other than that, that's it really. Or sometimes like compatibility issues, you get just annoying bugs that you come across.
yeah. I mean, because obviously you do like for your day job at BMW, what do you specifically do?
At the moment, I've just started, so I'm just getting to grips with the role. But it's assembly process planning. So when there's like a new thing on the line that needs to be produced, manufactured, um, our job is to make sure that all the machines and everything is in place for it to be successfully manufactured. So that involves a lot of stuff like design. It also involves some coding with the PLC systems. You know what they are, don't you? The logic
No.
controller, problem
Okay,
logic, like
logic controller.
yeah,
Yeah, I know that.
yeah, to communicate with the robots and the the like the actuators and stuff on the line.
Yeah,
So got a lot of different goes into a lot of different aspects, and yeah, that's what I do. Just mainly planning a assembly process to take place. That's in a nutshell.
yeah. Do you wish you did more coding on your day job?
Yeah, but I've just started, so I might do more. It's quite like it's up to me what kind of projects that I want to pick up, and
Okay, that's cool.
they might involve coding, they might involve CAD. It's
Yeah,
kind of like up to me what kind of route I want to go down because I'm under a graduate scheme as well, so I can
yeah.
also have opportunity to switch departments down the road.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, it's good to have that flexibility where because if you're, having to do that one project under the one team,
yeah,
that's good as well. But like if you once you finish the project, you can hop onto something slightly more, slightly less of one thing. That would be that's good as well. If you could work on any product, past, present, or future, what would it be?
be AI, I think, in a
Okay,
fully
so
AI,
AI.
something fully AI,
Okay, and like dive a bit
like a
deeper into
proper,
that. Like what
like a
particularly?
like robotics, like a proper robot that you can speak to that interacts with you like a human,
Okay,
and just
so
having that pleasure of like building something so complex.
yeah, so something so lifelike almost, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, what's your opinion on not specifically AI, but people trying to create robots with AI that look like humans? I'm not saying from the perspective of is it dangerous or anything. I'm saying from the perspective of do we? I know it's familiar. I think that's partly why we do it, but like, do we need to? It's like I feel like there's better, more efficient form factors.
Yeah, for me, I think like it's just like another species. You don't need to make it look like human just to familiarize with it. You can make it look like any, just like a classic robot or whatever. You don't
Yeah,
need to make it humanoid just to, make it try to seem to fit in or something like that. I
yeah,
don't,
because
I don't really see like any that I would like that personally.
yeah. Yeah, because you get those robots that I mean you'll see them all the time at BMW. That are assembling stuff.
Yeah,
That's
the
literally just
orange
like an
ones.
arm. It's just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
gripping something, tiny something, and moving something. It's
yeah,
like something like that does not need to look like a human or
yeah,
an
yeah,
animal or anything. Like it does its job. It has like a couple of like major pieces, and they move and rotate however they need to. So yeah, I feel like it's a craze, and we'll get off that as a society, and we'll go to just being like, okay, for this task, it's just better if he has like 8 legs like a spider or 20 legs or something, and that's just
yeah. And
more
also
efficient.
humans have their limitations as well. So like they can't bend their arms 360 degrees and
Oh yeah, like,
yeah,
yeah,
so
stuff like that, and the fact is, robots can do that stuff, so they're
yeah,
already making it non-human like
yeah,
by
yeah,
going above those limitations. Yeah, I think it's more just the familiarity, like talking to a robot that looks kind of like someone that you might see on the street is a little different to talking to a black box.
yeah, yeah. That's true.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it is.
You're gonna make it look
Uh,
somewhat, yeah, like a life form, but not a black box. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, or something, or like a spider or something. It just won't have the same feeling. So when they have the face and like it's got sort of like the skin on the face, the synthetic skin is scrunching when it's talking, and it looks like it's got emotions. That's obviously going to trigger certain feelings and emotions in us when we're talking to it, compared to if it's just something that we don't really care about.
like in my mind, when I think of robot, it just comes to my mind in films like iRobot
I love that movie.
and what was the other one? Was it Stark in it? What's his name? Of Iron Man, Iron Man, Jarvis and Iron
Iron
Man.
Man,
Yeah,
yeah, Jarvis.
just like
Yeah, I
that's what
mean,
comes
well,
to my
with
mind
that,
straight away.
Jarvis never, outside of Vision, he was
Had a
never
physical
in a
form. Yeah.
physical form. Like he just had a voice.
But he did control other stuff, like he had arms as well, like like them robot arms and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But again,
Yeah,
he controlled stuff for a specific purpose. It wasn't like walking around in a human
yeah,
robot
yeah,
looking form.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas Stark had the tech to do that, so it's
yeah,
not like it was a tech issue.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's like it didn't make sense.
yeah. Just something like that would I would be happy with as well. Something.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm really interested in. Though, is having some sort of AI that we can talk to, have a conversation about. They ask us how we are, remember our name, and but then if we're a bit rude to them, they get a bit pissy with us as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
Something a bit more lifelike, and that we can, you know, not that it can trick us, but that it can, have a conversation in a way that we're like, okay, that's a bit different to what I thought was gonna happen.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's interesting and nice to be able to do that instead of always having to interact with humans.
And also something that you can truly rely on as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, there is as well.
It's not
Okay.
like, Siri or something, you can't do 100% of the things that you want
Oh
to
yeah, yeah. The
do.
amount of times I just make mistakes, like the amount of times, I
You
mean,
say
saying
call someone and then it calls somebody else.
yeah, or like I'll go on. I mean, it's not Siri, but when I'll go into YouTube, for example, and I'll use because I'm trying to type something in pretty long, and to be fair, on the TV, the keyboard and the remote, it does
It's
not
not the
make it
best.
easy to type
Yeah,
fast.
yeah,
So I'm like, I'll use the speech function, I'll use the mic, and I'll say something. And I'm like, how did you get that from what I just said? It's
yeah,
nowhere close.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it'll be. I mean, we're getting there. The fact that we have speech recognition,
Yeah.
maybe
But
10 years
sometimes it's
ago.
pretty accurate as well when like some foreigner or something speaks on the
Yeah,
mic. They
Oh
can
yeah.
understand it quite surprisingly from my end.
Yeah. It can be sometimes pretty accurate as well. Yeah, it's one of the things that's getting there, and because we're in the midst of it all, we don't see the change. Like if we compare it from 10 years ago, man,
Yeah,
there's a big change. I mean, the
yeah,
fact that we have these Google, I mean, I don't think we had assistants in our phone in 2012 like that.
yeah.
That would have been iPhone like 5, 6.
Siri, I think
Maybe
came
80.
on. Was it 4? No.
What, Siri?
Yeah.
Did it? Like, no way was as early as 4. Let's have a look. I'm just Googling it
I
now.
mean,
So,
Siri has been
Siri.
been around a while though.
Well, initial release was 2011. Yeah, I mean, that would have been uh, probably iPhone 4. Man, that was long ago.
First iPhone was iPhone 4S. That was the first one.
I mean, you was close.
So yeah, which one do you think is more accurate, Siri or Google?
Oh, Google.
Yeah.
Google overall, yeah.
Do
I
Samsung
mean,
still do their own? Is it Bixby or
yeah,
what
they do. I accidentally turn that on now and again because the sleep button on
yeah,
a lot of phones now isn't the power button anymore.
yeah.
The power button is software. So sometimes I'll try and turn the phone off, and I'll do that in Bixby or launch. So yeah, there's that. And actually, can you just give me 2 seconds? The
Yeah.
battery on my mouse has died, so I can't control the mouse. So just give me a second. Just want to plug this in. Okay, mouse is plugged back in. Okay, so what other careers did you think about as an alternative growing up? I'm talking about all throughout your childhood.
So yeah, like I mentioned before, it's like computer science, some kind of computer science one. But another one that I really wanted to go down was dentistry as well,
Yeah,
as you may remember when I was
I
younger.
remember.
Yeah, because mainly because of the the salary was quite
Yeah,
starting salary is quite high, and it's just a
I'm
business
probably I'm guessing
opportunity.
family influence as well because obviously every Asian
No,
wants.
actually, not really. It's like
No,
kind of not a family influence, but like just to have a good role that they'd be happy with, but not like a. It wasn't forced. My parents never forced me to
yeah,
do anything, but it's mainly that. But also, you got that, and then I could see like there's a big business opportunity as well
yeah,
in dentistry. They make a lot of money,
they do.
they,
To be fair,
and you can have your own practice quite easily compared to like a doctor.
oh yeah.
So that was one of my reasons why I wanted to go down that route. Another.
I
Mm,
think you not going into that was one of the best decisions that you
yeah,
made and best thing that happened to you.
yeah. I'm just trying to think what other things.
I mean, anything crazy as well. So anything that wouldn't have been practical, or you think, be like, that's obviously not gonna happen.
I think when
Because
I
when
was
I
a
was growing
kid,
up,
do you remember that TV show Spooks? My dad used to watch.
it rings the bell. The name does.
It's like a MI5 TV
Yeah.
show. Yeah, I wanted to be a spy when I was very quite young. It seemed quite cool.
I mean,
But
it
yeah,
is, but
but you never know, it might be.
yeah, you never know. Uh, okay. I mean, as a kid, I remember I wanted to be in the army.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then I remember my dad said, "You do realize you can get shot and die in the army?" I was like, "Hell no, I'm not doing that." And then I was like, "I want to be an astronaut." And then it
yeah.
was like, your helmet could break and you could pressurize the suit and you could die. And I was like, "What's left?" Basically, I could just die in every job.
I mean, you can die any time.
Oh yeah, you can. Obviously,
Got the
those
right.
two are a
Yeah,
bit more high risk.
yeah.
Yeah, but I never wanted to be like a firefighter or a policeman. I wanted to be in the army
That's normally like a conventional child thing at some point in their life, isn't it? Like
or
fireman or
army.
policeman. No, like fireman, policeman. At
Yeah, I mean,
some point,
I never had the fascination with that, to be fair, or
yeah.
doctor or anything like that.
In college, I
Yeah,
did
though.
have a bit of a brief for being like a college lecturer because it didn't seem like they did much work. It seemed like an easy job.
I mean, relative to other, educational, jobs, like
Yeah,
teachers, high school, primary school, they do less work, I'd say overall.
yeah, yeah.
It is definitely more chill. Okay. Do you have a dream company that you would like to work at? Why and what would you like to do there?
Dream company. I don't know. I have my own vision of having my own company. To be honest,
Yeah. I
I've never
mean,
really.
that can be your dream company now.
Yeah, that is my own company. And it's just some kind of like manufacturing, like something on a mass scale, and I can just see it like, for example, something silly like a fan, like a Dyson
Yeah.
fan. You can just see it all around, or
Yeah.
hand dryer or anything like that. Just where you can walk out your house and you see your product that everyone's using.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Like, yeah, so something like that, especially like a hand dryer, like you're saying, in
yeah,
the toilet, you'll
yeah,
get, it won't be a matter of, okay, people who can afford it will use it.
yeah,
Everyone will use it if the facility has it.
yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, whereas, like, if you make a Ferrari, don't get me wrong, obviously making Ferrari is obviously a cool thing to be able to say that you do, but
yeah,
only certain people are going to be able to buy that. Only
yeah,
certain
and
people are ever going to experience that, and
or
only
even see
certain
it,
people.
even see
Yeah,
it in
yeah.
person.
I mean, yeah, you won't see that often. It's like I saw one yesterday, but I don't see them often. Like I see BMWs often, I
Yeah,
see
yeah,
Hondas often. But
yeah.
yeah, I
Just some
don't.
product
Yeah,
like that, even if it's something simple or basic, but something that's mass,
yeah, yeah. I
like
know what
used
you
on a
mean.
mass scale.
Yeah, I would like that as well. Okay, so what do you think of remote working versus being in the office?
Yeah, so I've done throughout my career. I've done both remote working and working in the office, and this time I'm more in the office now. And I can see just remote working. There is some need for working in the office. It depends on your job, like if you've got manufacturing or you need to go to see stuff. But I think every job can have like at least 40% of remote working and actually
Yeah,
get like work done at home. And also, I was just thinking about it on the way back actually today. It's like the commuting time, 1 hour there, 1 hour back, and then you do it again the next day. It just, if anything, it makes you work less efficiently, puts more
mm,
like less effort into the job you're actually doing. So it not
yeah,
just benefits you, but it also benefits the employer as well. I think working from home. But obviously, some people, if you do it 100%, you might not, perform 100% in the job. So if you do have that balance of going in the office or working from home, I think it's good.
oh yeah, for sure.
I'm just
Yeah, I
thinking
mean,
if I had my own business and what I would want my employees to do.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a very interesting one. Like I think about that often as well. Like when I get employees, like, hiring employees, like what would you want them to do? It's like you want them to be happy, but then you also want. I think the
Them to
primary thing
work.
is you want
Yeah,
company to be running well, making money, making progress, and what does that involve? So, like, if it's obviously certain things be hard to do remote, but the remote ones, and then it's like could we get them to do the work quicker and they could have the rest of the day off, like so they can have good balance as well. Like
yeah,
could they do the work in 4 solid hours, like 4 solid monitored hours, but then the rest of the days you're there, so maybe just 4 days a week.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, something like that would be cool as well, because I feel like with meetings and just general just wasting and BS, like an 8 hour day could easily be done in a 4. I mean, assuming you got the if it's structured in a way that you have access to the information that you need readily available to be able to do your job, I think you could do 4 solid hours and get the work done, and then
yeah.
obviously you
Yeah, I
know.
don't know, but yeah, 'cause with me, like, there's a lot of, like you said about the meetings, there's just loads of random meetings that is not even relevant to your job, really. It's just an
You just
overview of what,
have to be on there.
yeah,
It's
and
like
it's just
a
about what
team
someone
meeting or
else,
something.
it's about what someone else is doing, and you could have just heard that in 2 minutes in another, let's say, final meeting in a whole week where it just summarizes everything. You could
Yeah,
have
I
just
have.
been like that instead of just being in these random meetings that is actually just not letting you do your own work that you actually employed to do.
Oh yeah, yeah, literally. And then it's like if you was to say to your manager that okay, I won't do the meetings, I'll get the work done, and I'll just clock off 3 hours early. They won't be like that. They'll be like, if you're not going to go to your meeting and you're going to finish early, just do more work.
Yeah, yeah,
but they wouldn't, bat an eyelid if do the meeting and then just have less time to do work and then just finish your work. So it's like they want you to have X amount of suffering or X amount of time that you basically clocked in,
yeah,
and then they're happy.
yeah. Everyone's been in them meetings where just three people are talking in like 30 people meeting, and everyone's
Yeah.
on mute, just half asleep.
Oh
And then
yeah,
when there's
literally.
and then sometimes when they go around the table, they call your name. You don't even realize they're calling it because you're half asleep.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's happened. Or you start talking and you forget you haven't unmuted.
Yeah,
uh, like you go into a deep, conversation and or deep explanation of what you're doing, for example, and you haven't unmuted. And when you unmute it, you just give a quick 2-word answer because you
yeah,
can't be asked to do it
yeah.
again.
That's happened a lot as well.
Yeah, that's happened
Especially when
to
you're
it.
waiting for your turn, like you're like you're prepped your answer in your head, and then you're saying it,
Yeah, you're
and then you
hoping
just
that it
go.
comes first.
Yeah,
Because at least that way, if you want to do something that you're not really concentrating, then it's not that much of an issue. Whereas it
yeah,
could, if your turn hasn't come up yet, it's like it could come at any time.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, how did you find COVID, especially considering it forced a lot of people to work remotely?
I think because at first when COVID hit, first I was in university.
Yeah.
I was just doing a project, group project at the start of the semester. It was like, was it February, March? February, March, I think,
Yeah, it
wasn't
was
it, the
February,
first lockdown?
March in
Yeah,
2020 in the UK went it
yeah. So
all.
in this, so we usually had a project, big project at the start of every semester. So that was the second semester of that year, and we had a big project with our group. Um, so yeah, when COVID first hit, we all was fully remote and work from home. There's no access to uni at all. There's quite a lot of our work was locked away in just rooms that we couldn't access. So yeah, when we first started, it was a struggle to get everyone in the team to on the same page in that working mode again. Using Teams, Skype, all these different softwares that were quite new.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've all been used to Skype, but there's other ones like Zoom and Teams that I never used before COVID.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, so everyone was just getting used
And
to.
Zoom's old as well. When I looked into
Is
it,
it?
I mean, it's not new. Like it's easy to think, oh, it's like 2020 or something or
Yeah,
2019.
yeah,
But I remember when I looked into it, Zoom was not new.
yeah.
I
COVID
like
definitely kicked off these Teams and Zoom to
yeah,
of large scale.
2011, 11 years ago.
Really,
So yeah, almost 10 years before COVID.
but it's a good concept, Zoom, where you can just have a link. You don't need to download anything or.
Yeah, like it reminds me of just Google, Google Hangouts, the Google stuff.
Yeah, but even with
Uh,
Google, you need to make an account or you have to do something. But with
Yeah,
Zoom, you
or
can just
I mean,
yeah,
don't get me wrong, it's a lot better than it used to be, like in
yeah,
terms of the quality. I've
yeah,
been, using that a lot recently. But yeah, I agree. Like Zoom is a lot more. But like the issue with Zoom is if you have a free account, then I think you have like an hour limit.
yeah, and you have to redial or something back
Yeah,
in.
like
Yeah,
that's annoying. Like when I was doing some tutoring with some students and was doing a Zoom link, like all the students were comfortable with doing a Zoom link because they had been using it for university, so they
yeah,
knew how to use it. But then it was like cut off,
and then you have to
and
redial, and sometimes they don't join back or.
oh yeah, like all that BS. Whereas like something like Teams or Skype, Teams is definitely better quality than Skype, but I feel like Skype is still probably the interface is still a bit easy to use when it works, probably just because there's not that many features.
Yeah, personally, I prefer Teams the most. I just 'cause probably maybe because I was using it at uni and I've used it at my work as well.
Probably more so yeah than Skype.
Yeah, I've
Whereas
been forced into it more. Yeah,
I've been a Skype guy heavily, but uh, recently over the last few months, you have got me more into Teams, so
yeah.
there is that. And I honestly do like Teams compared to Skype.
But definitely at university, like Teams has been a big help because you can just message. When you're emailing lecturers or any teachers in general, they just take sometimes 3 days, 4 days, five
Yeah.
days to reply. But on Teams, they legit get it's like an instant message. It's like a
Oh, yeah,
WhatsApp message.
it is like that. Yeah,
So I
yeah,
used to
it's
just get
like
a lot of help when I needed. It's really benefited me in
oh yeah,
my final year. Just messaging. People were scared just to message, like the big teachers and stuff. But I used to just ping them a message whenever I needed them.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Facebook Messenger almost in terms of you're more likely to respond to something on Teams or Facebook Messenger or Skype even quicker than
Then
let's
an
say if you get an
email.
email,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
if you get the notification come up.
yeah. Because email, when you get notification, you just dismiss it. You just carry on doing what you're doing. But when you've got
Yeah,
a,
and I feel like with email, like the whole notion is you open it, you do like a hi, how are you? Like it's a
you
bit
got to do that
more.
formal. You have to do the,
Yeah,
yeah,
and generally speaking, you don't press enter to send.
yeah,
You have to press the send button. Like there's this extra. I mean, it sounds silly, enter to send compared to just pressing end. I mean, compared to pressing the send button, but
yeah,
it's just it is extra friction that, frankly, you Teams doesn't have.
yeah. And also with Teams, like you think that like lecturers, they want you're gonna say even on Teams, oh hello, how you doing,
Yeah.
blah blah. But they don't, even they don't care. They just reply with the one word answer and stuff, and then
Oh yeah,
you think,
they
yeah,
definitely do.
yeah,
Yeah, you'd be like, yes.
yeah.
You'd be like, okay.
You ask like a big question, and it's just
Oh
yes.
yeah, yeah. And you're like, it wasn't a yes or no,
Question. Yeah.
question. I wanted a link to where I could get the resources, and you're
Information.
like,
Yeah,
yes. It's like the foreign. Yes,
yeah.
you have link. Uh,
Or like sometimes you show them your work, to say yes, and then you come back with like loads of negative feedback.
yeah, oh yeah, that's like, yeah, I remember that. It's just like you never indicated that it was that bad.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, back to your original question. It was what how I was dealt with COVID. Is that what it was?
yeah, how you found it, and
Yeah.
working remotely.
So yeah, where I was, I just said that I was found it struggling to get everyone. But once we went into it, it was quite. I think that was one of the most we all worked as a cohort during
Hmm.
the end of the semester because we was just in our own time. Like, don't get me wrong, we wasn't being lazy watching Netflix or anything. We was like proper all nighters, doing all nighters. One of my friends was on the call like 48 hours. He was doing his showers in between and everything.
Jesus, but we just stayed on the core.
Yeah, yeah. I think you know which friend I'm on about.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's not like it was. If you want to work, you get work done, don't you? At the end. So
Mm.
overall, I think from COVID, I've generally I think I've positively benefited from it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a difficult one because obviously I never experienced that when I was at uni. The
Yeah,
remote working like that. Because usually we used to meet up in person. Like you ended up it's either at university in the gaming labs, or they would come to mine. Like I prefer people coming to mine so that way once it wrapped up, I didn't have to walk home.
yeah, yeah,
It's just nicer that way. And like it's fine, like it's a lot easier that way. But I remember if we're trying to do something remote or trying to do something on call, that it's easier for them to be like, yeah, I'm busy right now, or do it in a bit, or I got to jump in the shower, or all this BS.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas if you're like, we're gonna be here at 1 p.m., the whole team, and the
yeah,
whole
yeah,
team's going, like it's a lot harder for them to be like, I don't want to go basically right now. There's a rearrange because everyone else has, got it, or they're all coming.
yeah. But also when like on that point when I experienced it, it was lockdown, so no one had nothing else to do. It was either Netflix or work.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, of
yeah,
course, yeah. It's just a strange one in my head
yeah,
for because I've experienced it with work, but
yeah.
for university, it's just a
It's a
strange
grey
one.
area for you. Yeah,
And
yeah,
especially when for university because you have deadlines. I
yeah,
mean, yeah, deadlines at work, but deadlines that have a grade. Whereas
yeah.
with let's say
Work,
a
you still get
job or a
paid. You
client
get
or
paid
something
at the
like that,
end.
it's like
Yeah,
okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, if it doesn't get done, you'll get it done when the person's available. Or
yeah,
worst case, you get fired or you leave and you get another job. It's like
yeah,
it's not that simple.
yeah.
When you're at uni, you can't be like, okay, I didn't submit the work this week. I'll submit it next month.
I mean, you can do that, but you'll be capped.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's heavy punishments.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, there's that aspect of it.
But yeah, in general, I think in terms of university, I think the COVID situation has improved it a lot, especially at mine, because before COVID, lectures and stuff wasn't it like rarely recorded, even though they was meant to record every lecture.
Hmm.
And like I said, Teams was non-existent. So when you wanted to message, like get in contact with a lecturer, you had to catch them on the stairs or book a meeting.
Catch him on the stairs. It sounds like Spider-Man just jumping on the stairs. Professor, I
Yeah,
need your help, and they're like, yes.
and also like them, them 1 hour lectures where you have to come into uni just for 1 hour lecture and go back home,
Yeah.
like stuff like that. They made it online. They made it
Yeah, those
online.
1 hour lectures, man. I mean, it's annoying. I found it annoying, and I was just walking like 10 minutes to uni. For
Yeah,
you, was it like an hour drive?
30, 40 minutes. 30,
30,
40
40
minutes.
minutes. I mean,
Yeah,
it's still a
yeah,
decent amount, and then the cost
yeah,
of fuel.
yeah, yeah.
And then, like, how far did you used to park from uni because to get free
Oh,
parking?
back then it used to be like 20 minutes because I found a closer parking space later on. But
Okay.
back then it used to be a 20-minute walk.
Yeah, like, exactly. So it's just basically an hour just to go and do an hour lecture. And did
Yeah,
you ever go and they're like, it's cancelled, that one
yeah,
hour
loads of
lecture?
times. Yeah.
You just like,
Or you got
uh,
like you rush in to get there on time, and then the lecture's there half an hour late, and then you could have just took your time in the day to get there.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, like you skipped breakfast or you didn't have the
Yeah,
shower or, whatever it was.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember those days.
But
uh,
yeah, so yeah, I think like stuff like that, that COVID situations improve. Like even the lecturers, they know like for 1 hour lecture they can just do it online, and they prefer it online as well.
oh yeah, because they still need to come in as well,
Yeah,
or because or go to that room.
yeah,
Because even
yeah,
if they're still physically there, it's still them going out, and they might be pretty far away still.
yeah,
They might be in a different building.
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a interesting one. Okay, do you have any family members or close family friends that are developers, and how did that influence your decision to become one?
Well, you, no, you was my close.
Obviously, me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and well, not to be anyone else was. I got a cousin in Pakistan who's a telecoms engineer, like software.
Okay.
That was when I went to Pakistan. He kind of gave me that as well, towards technology. But mainly since you was in the same city as me and we used to meet every week.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
and I mean, we're not that exactly the same age, but
yeah,
especially when we're younger, the gap felt even more. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, because you're 24 now,
23, 23.
23, yeah, and I'm 30. I'm gonna be 31 soon.
Yeah,
But yeah, because we used to love playing games, and I remember we used to come round on a Saturday,
yeah,
and after you and your dad had done shopping
yeah,
for the week, come round, have some fish and chips, and then we used to play Xbox 360, and
yeah,
like games like Army of Two.
yeah. I still remember that.
Oh yeah, like how we used to do so much,
Yeah. No,
and then
it's quite surprising, like the age gap and how close we was.
oh yeah, and then like yeah, be let's go. And we're like, oh, we're almost just finishing the level. Then we start
Yeah,
another level after. Be like, the
yeah.
level's not done yet. And be like, oh yeah, it's taking ages. It's taking ages.
And it's like 12 o'clock or 1 a.m.
Oh yeah, I know. You're just chilling there.
and the oldest have had enough to talk about.
Oh yeah, yeah. And they basically want to dip.
Yeah.
If he was grounded, he would have slapped our dad and be like, "We're going." He wouldn't have taken that.
Yeah. But yeah,
Uh,
so mainly it was you going into that, even like stuff like going to degree and stuff, because obviously in our families it wasn't that educated, our families.
no, they won't.
So it was mainly you, and you was the first one, kind of you and your sister
Yeah.
in our generation that went to
Yeah, yeah,
university.
that
So
were close as well, I guess,
yeah,
because
yeah,
obviously, the further one, but like you don't see them that much.
yeah. So obviously, as me being younger than you, was like a inspiration.
Yeah, plus obviously we had similar interests, whereas my sister, her interests were different to yours and
Yeah,
mine.
yeah.
So yeah, there was that. Yeah, that's fair enough. Would you ever switch careers from what you're doing
Well,
right now?
I've just started my career now, and I don't have 100% can tell you I don't have the same. I don't want to be in the same career in even 5 years' time. I do want to
But
be moving around, and
you don't want to be a lifer.
yeah, I want to be just growing, keep growing. Not, I don't want to settle for anything.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I
yeah,
agree. So many people. I know you. Talked to me about it recently. Like the people at regular jobs and their lack of inspiration and motivation.
Yeah,
Like,
like
can
eighty
can you
percent
talk
of
to about
people
some of that?
in my position, they think that's it. That's what I'm doing for like the next 50 years of my life.
Oh
But
yeah,
for me,
and they think an extra 20K is
yeah,
like everything, and they think like they've made it.
and
The
they
fact
made
that
like
they
a
can
two
get
grand
another
bonus.
car on finance or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, and they made a 2 grand bonus in a year. They think, wow,
Yeah,
and then it's
and
taxed and everything.
and they don't realize that you're not getting a bonus, mate, because you're good. It's called inflation. It's a
Yeah,
so the fact that they actually spend it like on a holiday, or on a bag if you're a woman, or maybe a game console, whatever it is
or
you're
a car,
spending
or
the
yeah,
money that you
yeah,
wasn't gonna spend. You're
yeah,
actually worse off in terms of buying power because of inflation.
yeah, yeah,
So you actually have technically less buying power, which is crazy when you think of it like that.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely good to keep because when you start a new job, obviously that salary is kind of in line with inflation compared
Yeah.
to staying in a job. So I think it's good to keep switching around, or if you're not going to have your own business,
Oh yeah, of course,
just
of
to
course, yeah.
always, then you always get the best out of. And also, if you don't like, let's say you're switching into a really bad job, you can just switch again.
Oh
It's
yeah, of
not
course.
so. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my future plans anyway.
Yeah, I mean that sounds good. How much more would you need to earn to switch careers? So, going off the previous question.
So yeah, I'd like to be on 50. Like the next job would be 50, like my age, 50K.
Yeah.
Then I would switch careers and also a bit closer because commuting. I think even if you get a lot of, you need to think about like your lifestyle and how if you're happy as well. You don't want to be commuting 1 hour every day
Yeah,
if it's not
especially
gonna.
for most jobs.
Yeah, obviously if you're making a big amount of money, then you can warrant it. But if
Yeah,
it's
but
just a
just for
standard,
like,
yeah,
yeah, just for peasant money, effectively.
yeah, yeah,
What most people are making, like, when I see people that are on like 20K barely, and they're commuting like an hour and a half, like on the bus or something, or even on, especially on car, and they're obviously paying for that fuel and blah 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 blah. I'm
yeah,
like, obviously they're literally living paycheck to paycheck. Those people
yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah. At the end, you
Yeah.
just got to. That's why you want to make money, just to be happy. So you don't want to be trying to make the money and be so depressed and not even be able to enjoy it. You just not even living paycheck to paycheck, but living weekend to weekend as also as well. Just
Oh
waiting
yeah,
for that Saturday, Sunday, and then it's only the Saturday, and then Sunday you're thinking about getting ready for work again.
yeah. Like, you're upset that the Sunday, on the
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Living to weekend and bank holiday to bank holiday. That's how it is.
Oh yeah. I mean, it literally is. To be fair, it's crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, but it's good to have it in mind. So
Yeah, most people don't. So it's good
yeah,
that you do. You're already ahead of most people literally on the planet,
yeah.
that you have it in mind. Okay. Do you code outside of work or do other stuff outside of work? And how do you find that? Do you enjoy it as much when didn't, let's say, have a job, if you was doing the stuff before as well?
Yeah. So outside of work, I do a bit of CAD and stuff.
Yeah.
Just for enjoyment, just do different things.
Okay.
But I'm planning on buying a 3D printer soon and just making some stuff, some design it on CAD and just print it on a
Which
3D
one have you
printer.
been looking at?
I haven't really properly looked. I'm just going into the idea of it. I need to research properly.
Yeah, I do. I want a 3D printer as well. I know we've discussed it before.
Yeah,
Uh,
and also just having like a little small business as well, you know,
yeah,
because I quite enjoy using CAD.
that's
So
good.
yeah, that's what I've been doing at the moment. I do plan and go back into coding properly, JavaScript or C++, and yeah, that's my that's what I do.
And would you recommend uni to people?
Would I recommend what? Sorry,
Uni, university.
university. Yeah, like I know you can get the education from uni by doing it at home by yourself, and you learn more if like whatever subject you want to do, you could learn more. But for most people, they need that push of being in an atmosphere where everyone's studying, doing deadlines and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
that pressure. The pressure you get on the deadlines. Like I think university is not mainly it's mainly not for the the education is mainly for building yourself as an individual, being able to finish projects on time. They do. I feel like they do it by purpose. Getting cramming all the deadlines out near the end, especially in final year,
Possibly, yeah.
just to build yourself. Build yourself to get into the working life. But if it's not just for the working life, it's to build yourself as a person.
Yeah,
But
the
yeah,
routine of
after
life.
yeah, and after graduating, I do really miss it, and it's like a nice stage of your life, being an adult, but also not having any
Yeah.
like big responsibilities
For
and
having
stress.
freedom and then being able to just, yeah, it's a strange one. University, it's
It is stress,
not.
but it's a different kind of stress. It's not a
Yes, it's like stress where you have almost like a support network.
yeah.
You don't, but like you kind of like you
Everyone's in
have
the same situation. That's what you think you're trying to.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's so yeah,
especially in the working, it's a bit very competitive. You've got to be careful what you say.
yeah,
But in university, everyone's the same situation. You can be open. You can be yourself, really.
yeah, more so,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. What myths about programming did you have before you started programming?
That'd be like hard Chinese. You got to do. It looks like, I mean, myths, and also before I started, when just looking at it, it just looked like a lot of Chinese, something you can't really understand,
Just foreign,
just
basically.
foreign, yeah, and it seems like a lot of effort. But when I got into it, obviously when you first get into it, it is like that. But once you made your first kind of basic program, that's like a big learning curve, and once you've done that, you can get into it quite easily, and you know what you're doing, and it's not Chinese anymore. So yeah, that was one of the myths and kind of like my own myth as well.
Yeah, I think that's the case with a lot of people. I remember when I was at university after finishing year one, did really well, and pretty much breezed through it, I would say. And then there was a crash course to C++ because that was the main language we were going to be using second year. There was a crash course over a week period, 5 days. I had to learn that really fast in preparation. Literally at the end of the first year of uni,
Yeah,
just before the holidays basically started, so start of summer, to learn that, and then we would do more of it in year two. I remember doing that, and I remember doing C++, and I'm being like, this is so hard. I mean, it could, it, and I remember legitimately that was one of the biggest times where I had doubts, and I was like, should I
do you
be
want to be
doing
doing this?
programming? Even though I just got one of the highest. I think it was like at the top in terms of my first year of uni. Top grades, first
Yeah, yeah,
grade. So like did really well. So you'd think I wouldn't have those deaths, but like, I remember seeing a couple of people, and yeah, true, they were people that had already done the language before to some extent. So yes, they was obviously gonna pick it up easier because it was object oriented. It just was so tricky, and I found it difficult. I didn't really see that other people find it difficult as well. I was too focused on myself. But when I started, I remember I decided, okay, it'll be fine. I remember when I started second year of uni,
yeah,
and when we started C++, the actual module, because it was like a whole academic year module, and when we was doing it, I was like, this is pretty easy. This ain't too bad because it was just literally just giving a bunch of code. Stuff was working, stuff wasn't working, and we were just trying to figure stuff out.
yeah,
And like, yeah, I did find that difficult. So yeah, I did have that myth, about like I came across it, and I was like, what the hell is this sort of like I said Chinese or something that you just can't understand.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
also
I'm
another
glad I
myth.
obviously didn't make
Yeah,
any rash decisions.
yeah. I think in university, everyone goes through that at some point. It doesn't matter what
Mm.
subject it is. You hit like a brick wall or something really difficult. And for me, it was kind of second year as well. And you think, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna like. You just get that thought, don't you? I don't know how I'm gonna survive, or I don't know how I can do this, especially in
Yeah,
the
how you
final
gonna
year.
get through?
Or
You get upset. You
yeah,
start having doubts. Like,
yeah,
whereas with a job, like because the deadlines aren't as rigid, effectively. Plus, worst case, you quit and you get another job.
yeah,
Whereas with this, well, you're gonna quit and do another degree when
yeah.
you're halfway through.
Yeah, you can't.
It's
Yeah,
like you ain't doing that. It's like, well, you ain't really resetting if you quit after a year at a job.
especially at second, like once you're at second year, you've gone through the whole first year, and you're kind of
Yeah.
halfway there. So
Yeah, so yeah, it is a difficult one, and so yeah, anyone listening, and if they're having those doubts, if they're in, at university or life in general, but especially university, it happens. I had those doubts, and I remember thinking, why am I having those doubts? Why am I finding it so difficult? I've done so well in my first year of uni, and I should easily be able to do it. Why can't I do this? But when we actually properly studied it, and it was a lot better, and I found it a lot easier. So
yeah,
yeah.
just anything in life, find struggle, but at the end it's worth it. Like we both got firsts,
Oh yeah.
and it's just put your head down, go through it. If even if it seems like you can't do it or you're gonna fail or just it'll work out in the end if you just study or whatever. You're not even studying anything in life if you
Yeah,
just
just
put effort
progressing.
into
You
it.
just keep
Yeah,
at it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's like that. Say, it's like that. Example sort of quote I read where it's just you can like most people are literally just moments away from success,
yeah,
or that you could dig 100 meters down in five different holes and then be upset because you haven't reached oil. But
yeah,
or if you just dug one hole 500 meters down and then you're like, okay, I've reached oil.
yeah, yeah.
So that, yeah, sometimes you just need to go deep and just keep at it. And it might be something else that you discover as a result of it, but you'll discover something.
I mean, I spoke to my lecturer when I finished. I just like quite 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Um, I was just telling him that my future plans is to have my own business and stuff, and he just told me straight, like you're gonna fail. In general, you're gonna fail 4 times, and you'll pass on your fifth. And
Mm.
don't be afraid to fail. This is it's all a learning.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah.
in university, you don't want to fail because there's no, you got to reset and it's capped and stuff. With that, in that aspect in education, it is that pressure. Like you said, with
Yeah.
jobs and stuff, if you fail, it doesn't really matter because you can just move on.
It's getting another job.
Yeah.
It's like it's
But with
uh,
education, there's like that big, big pressure because
yeah, it's
if you
crazy
do
when you think
fail,
of it.
yeah, if you do
Yeah.
fail, then it's a bit, you got to do either do the whole year again or it's capped at 40% or there is always a repercussion
Oh
to
yeah,
it.
of course there is. So yeah. Yeah, I mean it's right, you're gonna fail loads of times, and from my experience, you probably fail more than 4 or 5 times. Obviously
Yeah.
you might take 4 or 5 major failures, but when you're doing it, you'll be
There's
like, okay,
loads. Yeah.
I've had 100, but they're like they're small, but they feel major. So yeah, that's just you just have to get used to it,
Yeah.
and it's what separates successful people and people that have achieved a lot from those that aren't successful and those that haven't achieved a lot.
But also, yeah, when you fail, especially in real life, you learn a lot from it, and next time you won't do it again for
Oh yeah,
sure.
of course you won't.
So it's better. Sometimes it's good to fail at smaller points than at big points, and then you learn from it, and then you won't mess up on a larger scale.
Oh yeah. Okay. Do you keep up with the latest trends, advances, and programming languages in this field? And if so, how do you go about doing that?
So like technology trends or like fashion trends or what kind of.
Yeah, more technology
Yeah.
because you know what's relevant to your field.
Yeah, so I'll just go. I watch like YouTube videos, just go on like what's for me, on the for me page on YouTube because obviously that's tailored towards me.
Yeah,
Just watch videos like that's all technology. Use news apps, Google News and other stuff like that. Obviously that's all synced to what I want to see or technology related. And just reading blogs and stuff online as well when I have free time and see what's the latest advancements and what benefits it can provide. But when I was younger, it was mainly like not anymore, but like the gadget show and stuff like that.
I
These
remember that.
exhibitions where you could just like walk in, is everything. Was it gadget show? Was another one? Was it gadget show? Was there another one as well?
There was another one. I can't remember what the other one was called.
Yeah, it was like it was everything. It wasn't just gaming. It was coding, like other stuff. Anything technology was there, and you could just go and have a look at it. but more it's kind of died out now. It's more online based. There is still some exhibitions, but that's what I was into when I was a kid. But now it's just online, go and read and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think that's the case for you. With most people, I do a lot of reading for books, but so much online. I was doing some studying online earlier, just watching some psychology lecture. I was just doing some stuff on history, or looking at the Boer War and just some other stuff, history stuff. And I was like, it's crazy what you can access, and it's
Yeah,
usually more accurate if you know how to navigate it online and find it, and more up to date, and you'll find stuff that just generally the curriculum at university, college, and school does not teach you, because they have a certain sort of message that gets
syllabus.
pushed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the sort of, I'd say, the more work businessy questions. Then there's some fun questions now. So would you rather run a 10-person company or a 1,000-person company, and why?
Um, it depends on what stage of life. Like at the moment, it would be 10 stage just because I don't know I could manage 1,000 person company at the moment.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done. Like there's a lot of things to go into it, and it's a
Hmm.
big, obviously a big failure as well. If you're gonna pay, you have to pay 1,000 people if your business is not doing good. But
Yeah.
if you're paying 10, obviously it's not as big. But also when I'm working at BMW, that's like a thousands company. You can see people are just doing roles that don't mean much to the company, but they're just getting paid.
Jack all.
Yeah, yeah, but like there's loads of roles, but they're not really doing much in terms of proper
Oh
work and
yeah.
for the actual company. They're doing stuff, but it's not really like benefiting, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's like they've created evangelical roles for the sake of the role, and they're
Just generic
managing
roles, yeah,
they're a manager or something that in reality the actual managers should just be managing themselves as a side thing. It's like having a toilet manager that manages when you go to the toilet.
yeah, yeah.
You as an individual just manage when you need to go for a piss.
Especially like like they have HR departments. It's like 100 people. Like I think that's just over excessive. I don't know what
Yeah,
what
I
I
mean,
don't know what they do. Like
yeah, I know it's a difficult, because obviously when you've got a cause like BMW, when I Google it, do you think it's tens of thousands of people BMW?
yeah, because in my plant there's 1,000, and that's quite a
Oh,
small
is there
plant. That's quite a small plant compared to the other ones. So as a
118,000? That was 2021. So probably 120,000 people across the world work for BMW, and I think that'll include Mini as well.
is that
So yeah, I mean,
because it
like
depends. Is
100
that the
people.
mini? Because obviously there's BMW dealerships and there's BMW actual company.
I was going on Wiki, so
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's BMW, and not any third party dealerships.
dealerships. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's just BMW. Yeah, because when you think about it, if they've got 100 people in HR, what's the one? Two, I think that's what 0.1%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that adds up. 0.1%. That's not, or another way to think of it is per 1,000 people, they got one person in HR. That's not that bad.
No, but I meant like 100 in like my plant or in the
Oh, just in your plant.
yeah, or like in the UK group, like not in the
Yeah.
whole world.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what other roles they HR might be doing as well. Because if they're doing sort of other, because if they're handling some payroll stuff and some onboarding stuff and a bunch of other stuff, because obviously when you got that many people coming and going, plus the other thing is a company like BMW, yes, they have 120 or so thousand people employed, but think about all the people that they've employed,
Yeah,
past
yeah.
as well. Records have to be kept, even with GDPR. Records have to be kept, for pension purposes, benefit purposes, contract purposes, for insurance purposes, and
Legal
just
purposes as
legal
well.
purposes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So for that reason, yeah, they might have 120, let's say 1,000 people at that plant. But if that plant has, how old is that plant?
20 years.
20 years. Okay, so it's pretty old. If that plant has potentially had 3 to 5,000 in total
Yeah,
go through, including what's there, they're having to manage all those old people, records as well, requests from employers, for reference. Again, that's just that one scenario.
Yeah,
But so
yeah,
there's a bunch of other things. Like it's a difficult one. I agree. It's difficult to sometimes see where HR is used.
yeah,
Yeah. But then it's like we would not want to do the task that HR does.
yeah,
So it's
because it's just
like, yeah,
tedious.
somebody needs to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an interesting one. And okay, here's a good one. Does money buy you happiness, and why?
Uh, that's a kind of a. It depends. For me, it does because you need money to survive. First of all,
You gotta eat.
yeah,
Man's gotta
you got to
eat.
eat. But also, like there's quite. It's not really a right or wrong answer. I think for this one, like you can have loads of money, but you could have no arms or no legs.
Yeah,
So, and if there's no nothing, sometimes you can't buy stuff like that. So
yeah,
it just depends on the situation. Like if you, let's say you have, let's say you have zero, but you got everything you wanted, that's makes you happy, wouldn't it? Really? Like you
yeah.
had zero in your bank, but you had like any car you wanted, any house you wanted. It just depends on what you see money as.
But if you're saying you can have anything you want, then it's like, how are you getting that? If it's gifted to you, then
Yeah, that's
we're
a
still,
currency kind of.
in my
Yeah,
eyes, we're still effectively talking about, money's access to money. Then, like, let's say
yeah,
if it's
yeah,
your parents giving you because you got rich parents, yeah. Let's say you never touch, a pound in your life, a penny in your life, but it's still money. The
yeah,
money's still
yeah,
there, whether the money's in your
yeah,
pocket, your bank account, or in your parents' bank account.
yeah,
So that's still, but like the thing with the arms and legs, obviously, if you're, it's probably a rare scenario, probably won't happen. But like, if you're sacrificing, let's say, your arms and legs for to be worth 100 million, for example, yeah, it
yeah,
may not be worth it then. But if you have no arms and legs, regardless, probably having some money will probably be a bit beneficial in my eyes.
yeah, yeah. But also, it depends how far you go. Like, let's say you're working 20 hours a day to make loads of money, and you've only got 4 days to enjoy it. It's not you're not really having a life, if you know what I mean.
No, yeah, of
Yeah.
course,
So
yeah.
you need to have that balance. Like money, yeah, it makes you happy, but you need to obviously make sure you're using it right and you know what you're doing
Yeah, money is a
with that.
tool, and if used in the
Yeah,
right way, it can serve you very well,
yeah.
and in the
But
right sort of
generally,
amount.
from my point, yeah, it does give you happiness. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I agree with it. It's one of those things. You get a lot of people that, but basically, I've never heard a person that's got money say money doesn't buy you happiness. So the people who are broke, who ain't got anything,
but you've got to have a
who are complaining.
strong mindset because sometimes money can lead you down to bad paths
Oh
and
yeah,
you end
it
up
can.
in prison
So
or your drugs or
yeah,
you've seen all
but
these
I find those
celebrities.
people are probably a bit weaker anyway.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
Even without it, the money just compounded that sort of vice or that sort of negative aspect of them. Like before, yeah, then they wouldn't have been able to do any of that stuff because they just didn't have the money. But yeah, let's say if they got money now, they can obviously be really self-destructive. Apart from like
yeah.
let's say having a pizza every now and again, now they can go ham. They can do drugs. They can do alcohol. They
And
just
then at
buy
the end, you
stuff
got
and
like you can have loads of money, but you won't have a family left, or you won't have any friends or anything like that.
yeah, of
So
course,
you
yeah,
obviously you got to have that strong mindset. I think first of all, before money, you need to have that strong mindset as a person
yeah,
and know who you are without money influence. And then obviously, then money will make you happy.
yeah. Okay, next question. Still money related, but a little different. 5 million upfront or 500,000 a year for the rest of your life?
5 million upfront or half a million
Yeah,
rest
for
of
the
your life.
rest of your life. Can't be passed down, as in like the 500,000 that you keep getting once you
Yeah.
die. Whatever you've got, you can pass that down, but you can't like say your kids will also be getting 500,000. It's like, but yeah, 5 million upfront one-off payment right now, or 500,000 a year for the rest of your life.
I'd say half a million rest of my life. I know I'm thinking in my head like that for half a million is not going to be worth as what it is now in 10 years because of inflation and stuff.
Yeah,
But I'm just thinking if I had 5 million, currently I don't have the good knowledge of where I could invest it, where I could get that for half a million um, per year just from investing it.
Yeah.
So I'd go for that 500,000 and invest that um, per year at this stage of life. But if I did have, if I was educated more in that in investments and stuff, making the right investments, I'll take the 5 million right now
Yeah.
and
I
invest it.
mean, yeah, that's a good answer because the previous person I had on the podcast, Pixel Pat, he basically said something very similar that if you don't have the knowledge or you don't have the time or you don't want to, you don't want to go through the hassle of investing. Plus, if let's say you blow that 5 million, that's gone. Like you're
That's
not
gone.
getting
Yeah,
that back.
yeah.
Whereas if you have 500,000 and
Even
you
if you
blow it
blow
for
it,
5 years,
yeah, you're still getting it. Yeah,
you still gain it. You've learned. Or if you blow half of it and let's say half of it you used to live.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I mean you're right. It depends on how comfortable with you are with your ability to be able to make money
yeah.
from it. And
It's just gonna
plus, there's
take an
nothing
edge.
to say that you can't reinvest it for 500,000.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like you can just reinvest that and make 5 million.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
obviously
like
you got that guaranteed. It's a safe option because you've
yeah,
got that guaranteed
you
income.
could get to the point where
Yeah,
it's 1 million a year now instead of 500,000. But even though
yeah.
you gain 500,000 plus 500,000 from your investment, so yeah, it's a lot you can do with that.
What would
Okay,
you do? What would you do in that?
I would take the 5 mil
Yeah,
because I'm in my position in my mind right now. I'm confident enough that I could literally just put into property, and to the point where I probably could get almost 10% a year.
yeah,
Plus, I'll have the capital growth of the initial 5 million as well.
yeah,
But the honest reality is, if you got 5 million up front, you can quit your job. If you got 500,000 coming in a year, assuming it's just coming in, you can quit your job. So it doesn't actually matter that much. I think that's another important takeaway from it. It's the both good positions to be in.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so another question about money. How much money would you ideally want to make yourself happy? Like how much would you want? In the bank, cash flow coming in, net worth, all that stuff.
Um, Cash flow coming in yearly, I'd say 5 million.
5 mil? Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean nothing. I mean, it's better to have these goals than to be like, oh yeah, I'm happy with 50 grand. Oh, I remember a friend of mine a few years ago. He wasn't on 50 grand at the time. I think he is now. But yeah, he was on probably 30 or so, give or take. I remember him because he had like a that was pretty wealthy, so he didn't really need to, work the same way we do to get stuff. He was like, oh yeah,
yeah.
my goal is to get on to 50,000. Want someone there like, I'm happy with this. Like that's like your goal.
I know. It's good to have high goals and get halfway there, then have low goals and you
Oh
know.
yeah, and then just slightly go past it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What was the question I just asked? I forgot.
And what like income would you be happy with?
Yeah, income. So you're saying 5 million a year. How about net worth and cash in the bank?
Net worth 40 million.
Net worth 40. Okay.
Yeah. Cash in the bank. I'd say 1 million because I'd be investing it in other places. I don't think I need more than that to enjoy.
Yeah.
If I had like a property, like let's say I did have what I wanted, like I had the property, I had a good car, you know, then at one time I'd want 1 mil just to because I got that
Yeah.
other
Basically,
investments.
just consistently there, but
Yeah,
having money coming in, going out, but you got that there if you need it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a nice answer. Okay. And something a bit more, low beat. Favorite board game.
Board game. Actually, there's a new one that you probably haven't heard of. It's called what's it called? I'm trying to think of it now. It's like a Arabic. It's a Arabic. It's based from the Arabic countries. It's a board game like Ludo, but it's using playing cards, and
Okay.
you got to. obviously with the numbers, there's like the seven card you can the seven card is normal, but like five card you can push someone else back and forward, and like the Joker card you can swap your piece with someone else. It's quite more like Ludo's quite basic, but that you need it's quite a lot of mind games in it. But
Okay, but
yeah,
it's kind of like Ludo though.
it's kind of like Ludo, but this cards obviously do card games they do different things when you
Yeah.
pick a card. It's like that, and you got influence of other people's pieces on the board as well, and they also have influence on your own piece. I need to find out. I forgot the name because I used to play it at university, but I'm gonna buy it and then we'll play with it as well.
Okay,
But
yeah. We'll
but the
have to
thing
have a
is,
go
it's a
with.
four-player only game. Like you can't have two-player. You have to play four players.
Can you have more
Yeah,
than four as well? Or is
you
it
can have
four?
six. I think it has to be four or six, something like that.
Okay, so it has to be an even number as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can wrestle up four people. I've got a couple of people in mind. That's not an issue. Okay, for that, yeah, favorite board game for me would be Monopoly. I mean, Cash Flow, Escape the Rat Race by Robert Kiyosaki that we played a few times is nice as well. But overall, it has to be Monopoly, which is again, it's a money game.
yeah, yeah. So my second one is Monopoly.
Yeah, I love that one so much. I
It's
love,
just with this game, I liked it more because with Monopoly and stuff, you need to dedicate some time to it.
yeah.
But this one is about an hour average, so you can, and
Okay,
it's
so it's not too long.
yeah, and it's like you got like with Monopoly, you need to be good players if you want to be good at it. But with
Yeah.
this game, you can have like obviously it's with cards, you got that luck with it as well. So if you're playing with unexperienced players, you can have fun with competition as well. That's why that's my favorite.
Yeah. How about least favorite board game?
Least favorite. I'm trying to think. Mm, it's a hard question that is.
Or ones that you don't like. Like if you was gonna have a board game night, somebody said let's play this one, you'd be like, oh, not that one.
I don't know if it's a board game, but you know that one where you gotta climb over each other, over the colours.
Checkers,
No, 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 like in person, like it's like a big
Twister.
twister. Yeah, I wouldn't. It's just awkward. That's why.
I'll classify that as a board game. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
I mean, I do like that. To be fair,
yeah.
fair enough. Favorite video game?
Favorite video games, Crisis.
OG one.
OG one, yeah.
Oh my god, that one that came out in '07. It's been melting PCs for 1.5 decades.
Still is.
Oh yeah, literally. Uh,
But recently, like, we'll say for more recent games, it's probably Detroit Become Human. I quite like that.
have you finished it? 'Cause I remember you was gonna start that.
Yeah, I finished that. I finished that.
What did you think of the ending? We can talk about the ending, doesn't matter.
And
But
then
just
there's multiple
what did you
endings.
get for the ending actually?
I forgot because I've looked at different endings when after.
Endings, yeah. I did the same. Once I got my ending, I
What
looked
was
at
your
different
ending?
endings. I think was you on the roof with yours?
I think so. And you have to kill somebody. What was it?
Yeah, I think the robot survived, and I think that killed the guy.
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah, the
kind of
Quantic
kills
Dreams
Hank.
game's
I think.
always good.
Yeah, I killed someone. I remember.
Yeah, or when you try your hardest to like save everyone, and then somebody dies, it's like, oh my god! It's not
And then you
like
just give up.
yeah, it's not like one of those games where okay, your teammates died, so game over.
Yeah. Actually, talking about it now, I feel like playing it again.
Have you played Heavy Rain? Haven't you?
Yeah, yeah.
You
I played
played
at
Beyond Two
your
Souls?
Beyond. No, I haven't played that one.
Yeah, check that one out with what's the name? I can't remember her name now. But yeah, so you check it out. I enjoyed all three of them.
Yeah. There's other.
Uh,
Is that yeah? There's another one that is it Rockstar made. It's similar. Like
yeah, LA Noir.
yeah, yeah. I never played that. Was that good?
I mean, that was very good. Oh, the mocap on that, the motion capture was, especially for the time, was so insane. Because I remember seeing it, and because I had actors that were famous, big. They had done other TV shows and whatnot,
Yeah,
movies.
yeah,
I remember seeing them be like, "Yo, that's that guy, or that's that one from Heroes." That I mean, that was a obviously show at the time, one not long before. No, that's that guy. That's that guy. I was like, obviously, that's not that uncommon now
yeah.
to have them look the same or to have it good and like the animation's good. But back then, that was pretty insane, and it was open world like GTA.
Yeah. I always wanted to play it, but it's just like you need to go back to the old games and get back to the the old graphics and stuff. But
Yeah, I
it is
mean
on
the
my
best
list
way
to
if you
play.
want to play it is play it on Steam. Like play it or Rockstar Game Launcher. Play it on PC. I
Okay,
think I want to say they released it on Switch as well.
probably did.
I think they did. They did indeed.
Would you recommend? I haven't got a Switch. Would you recommend just buying one just to have some casual gaming?
Yeah, I mean, see the thing is, Switch is great, but now that Steam Deck's out,
Yeah.
honestly, I haven't showed you the Steam Deck
No,
yet,
I've
so
never even experienced it, to be honest.
next time it's one of those things until you experience it for a little bit of time, you can't appreciate how good it is.
It's definitely the best, one of the best handheld you've played.
Yes, without a doubt, because obviously we got Steam libraries, all those games. It's I was playing GTA 4 on there, almost maxed out, and on that small screen, it looks so nice. You can play PS2 games on there, with an emulator.
Yeah,
You can even play Switch games on there with the emulator. That's a bit more hit and miss. The performance will
yeah.
get better. You can play. What else did I? Yeah, I'll play Crisis 2 and 3 on there.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, and they run pretty well. Like, there's so many stuff like that you can just play, and they just work so well.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, Switch is a great system if you can find one like cheap.
You can,
You
but
know,
I'm
like,
thinking of getting a Switch. Like an OLED one. Is that worth it?
yeah, I definitely. If you're
Yeah.
gonna get one, grab an OLED one. But I see them on marketplace. To be fair, that aren't too expensive.
Okay. I haven't really looked, so yeah, I'll have a look and
Yeah,
see.
I mean, I'm literally just opening up right now, so I'll have literally whilst we're on the podcast, I will. Marketplace isn't available to you. What do you mean it's not available to me? Yeah, I need to switch profile. Okay, so yeah, marketplace. Because I think brand new is 320 or something. I want to say
Yeah,
switch the
something
switch
like that. Yeah.
OLED. And on marketplace, I'm seeing them for 285, 250, 250, 270. 270 is a brand new one. 250, 230. Assuming these are legit listings. 230. I mean,
If I got
you
one
can
for
get
like
one of those
180,
250s
200,
there.
I'd get one. I think.
Say again?
If I got one for like about 180, 200.
Yeah, I mean, the Switch OLED is going to be more of a push
Yeah, yeah,
to get those that, but the regular Switch, on the other
yeah.
hand,
I've seen them like £80, £70.
yeah. That's insane when you think about it. Yeah, Switch. I mean, if you get a Switch, don't get a Lite. Get an actual Switch that you can take the controllers out
Yeah,
and dock it as well.
yeah.
That's what you want to be able to do. So like, it's the experience of it. Honestly, if you can see one on regular one for 80 quid, will be worth it. But yeah, Switch. Oh yeah, OLED. Switch is great as well because for your Switch's own games, like Mario Kart, Splatoon, that stuff is fantastic. And next time I see you, I'll show you the Switch, but I'll show you the Steam Deck as well. The Steam Deck is probably my favorite system. I like it. I went through a phase where I played it live and played it properly for a little bit. I want to play. I want to get back and playing it. It's definitely great for travel,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just to be able to play all those old Steam games, and a lot of them just work.
mm,
And the thing is, you can max out games from about 10 to 15 years ago, and the high end ones on that small screen size still look great.
yeah, yeah,
Like Half Life 2, Far Cry 2, Far Cry 3,
yeah.
those
Them
games.
OG games must be good, like on a small scale.
Yeah, like the first time you really like Switch has brought a lot of games portable, but it's not brought everything. Whereas if you got you on your Steam library,
Yeah.
probably will work.
Okay. Okay.
So like I said, I'll show you next time.
Yeah.
And it's a big handheld, big for a handheld, but it is very comfortable.
Okay.
There's this what I have found with the Switch, and you would probably find it as well because I'd say your hand are probably similar size to mine. Is the controls aren't that the Joy
Yes.
Cons
Yeah. They're a
aren't
bit
that
small. Yeah.
big,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I do get strain in my hand a bit when I use it compared to in a docked mode.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, I've played the Steam Deck for a pretty long period of time. Didn't have the same issues.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I wish Steam Deck did have a kickstand. Does not. I feel like the next version will.
Okay. Okay.
But the other issue with Steam Deck is you can't just go and grab one.
Yeah. They're quite rare, aren't they?
They are hard to get hold of. Hold of. It's one of those ones. They're good for scalping if you can actually get hold of one. But there's only one place you can get them, and that's you know, from Valve themselves in terms of regular price, brand new. I mean, availability right now, that's not too bad. I'm looking at it's Q4 this year. You
Yeah.
can get it October to December. So, I mean, if you want one, I would recommend you ordering it.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
free version, the 64 gig version, that's 350. For 460, there's a 256 gig version, which also comes with a carrying case. And there's the 571, which is the one I've got, 512 gig version, and it's got like a exclusive carry case and anti-glare etched glass as well. So I mean, again, obviously there's a £220 difference between the lowest and the highest end one. I
Mhm.
would still recommend the if you can stretch to it, go for the highest end one. But with all of them, you're gonna whack your own micro SD card. But the thing is, the games they've optimized it so well that they run just as smooth as the NVMe.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, you just grab a 2 terabyte, whack that in, you're golden. You could whack a few, you could get a few, just swap them around.
Yeah. Back like the PSPs.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I remember that with the PSP days with the memory stick duo, and
Yeah.
then getting like the adapters where you could put like a micro SD or
Yeah. Yeah. I had
a
that.
the M2 cards in there. Uh, okay, so what video game are you looking forward to?
At the moment, that new Assassin's Creed that we was talking about.
Mirage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Have you seen the trailer for it?
Yeah. Well, we got around to watching it. It's quite good.
Yeah. It it reminds me of like the original Assassin's Creed games, the first two, mixed with Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
The vibe I was getting. I'm hoping it's not like Valhalla where you have all
Oh
that
yeah.
sort of
Don't.
customization. The gameplay just does not feel the same. I want it back in OG Assassin's Creed, hardly any upgradables.
Yeah.
Or have a mode where not an easy mode, but a simple mode where you don't have to do that stuff.
Yeah.
See, I would love that if they did that.
And also the new God of War as well.
Oh yeah, I mean that's coming out in November. I want to say
Okay.
it's not long. Yeah, it's coming up, coming out soon. Yeah, I mean, same here for me. I'm looking forward to those games.
And a game
Mm,
that isn't new, but I want to play with you is a Halo 5.
Halo 6,
Halo 6 was it? Oh yeah,
Halo
Halo 6.
Infinite.
Yeah.
Well, did I message you that they stopped work on the
The
co-op,
campaign
the
co-op.
local
Yeah.
co-op?
Yeah.
Which is so annoying. I mean, so I guess the only way we'll probably realistically be able to play is if we play online.
Yeah. Did they have it on PC? No.
They do,
Oh, they do. Okay. Yeah. Oh, we could
and
just
I
play it at
think,
my. I could just play it at my house then. You could play it at yours
yeah,
too.
I think it might be cross-platform as well. Let's see if Halo. I want to say it is cross platform.
Or we could do how we did. Do you remember we played one of the games was Gears of War? One of us was
Yeah.
on PC, one of us was on console.
No, we were both on console. Huh? Hold on.
Was it?
Was it Halo? The extra copy of Halo that we got?
Oh yeah. I
We
don't know.
connected up to the PC monitor.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, it's saying that we can all play with each other. So we could do that. We could
Yeah.
play literally if you want to do it on PC.
Yeah. We'll arrange something.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we'll definitely because I would like to, I'm trying to find people to regularly have, so let's say Wednesday or Friday, a night where we're just playing games,
Yeah, yeah,
and that'll be nice. And so, what I'll recommend for you is just get the Game Pass, say
yeah,
Ultimate Game Pass, and it's with that you get it with it.
yeah, yeah,
You get all the other games as well. And because when I played it on console, but I wouldn't mind playing it on PC.
yeah, yeah.
So that it'd be an excuse to play it on a different system.
Cool. Sounds like a plan.
Okay, sounds good. One last question before we wrap up. What advice would you give as a developer?
As a developer, start early. Um, like we did, like start when you're young. If you've got that passion, if you're any young view listeners, just get started. Anything basic, just watch some YouTube videos, use Code Academy, and just get started, get your head into it, and see how you feel. Basically,
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with that advice. Just start as early as you can, but also, just in addition to that, if you're not that young anymore, let's say if you're 40 and you want to, you know, go into it,
yeah, don't be
don't get
afraid to.
discouraged.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't think of it. Okay, you're not 15 anymore. Think in 5 years you'll be 45,
yeah,
and you don't want to think, oh, I should have started at 40,
yeah,
doing an hour a day when I had my time, spare time.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, just start as soon as possible. I think that's the more important one. Or if it's to parents, yeah, start your kids off as early as possible.
yeah.
So yeah, that's it. So yeah, nice hour and a half podcast with Cameron Hussein. And so yeah, this has been another episode of Fire Dev. Thank you everyone for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.